Hi, it's Bernadette Jansen from the School of Renovating, and today I've got some renovating gold to share with you. What I want to do is give you an insight into the analysis I do on a property's potential to put together a renovation plan that's going to be profitable. Now, I used to renovate as a hobby. I'd buy a property that I thought had potential and would do what I thought would work and then hope for the best. I think it was more good luck than good management that I did okay, but I've learnt a lot, and that's what I want to share with you today. So what I want to do is to dive deeper into the analysis of a property and into the things that we look at to actually see where we can add value. And one of the ways of doing that is by looking at the buyer objections. Now, you need to find ways to add value on multiple fronts. So it's not just a matter of making it look good, it's a matter of looking at the function as well. And by looking at what the buyer objections are, you can find opportunities to actually add value. So if you can remove those objections, then all of a sudden the property is worth more. So to do that, I've got a case study here of the property that we've just completed, or last year we completed. It was in a great location, which is absolutely essential. Had 6 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a double carport. It was double brick with a suspended concrete floor on the first level, established gardens, and had a swimming pool and bits and pieces that go with it. Now, basically, it fitted into my renovation template, as in the criteria I use to find a property that's going to be suitable for my market. I'll talk about that in another video, but the thing I want to hone in on today are the 5 or 6 things that you can find that are objections to buyers at the moment, but you can turn them into opportunities, and that's what we did with this property. So basically, the biggest objection with this house is it was the ugliest house in the suburb, and nobody wanted to look at it. So as a result of that, we were able to buy it at practically land value. But it was a very solid home, had great bones. So what I did was I brought the builder down, got him to help me work out whether we could remove this horrible tiled facade that was on the face of it, the dark tiles, which he said we could, and give me some costings, so I was able to work out a budget for this. And we were able to remove that and create a very contemporary facade. We put a portico on the front. We put a shadow line along the roof line to give it some definition, and we also did some work on the carport, so that made it a garage by adding a double panel lift door and building on the facade of the carport as well, so that looked a lot better and worked a lot better because it was much more secure. Okay, so now here's the completed facade. It looks so much more appealing and obviously appeals to a wider market and is a lot more valuable as a result of that. So you can see the lovely sandstone tiles, paving at the front of the house. Once we cleaned it up, we realised that we didn't need to do anything to it. It was just perfect the way it was. And we also did quite a bit of work on the front entranceway to make sure that that was really inviting and, basically had fantastic street appeal. Okay, so that's the first buyer objection that we turned into an opportunity. Now, the second problem was that the property was very dark and dingy inside, and by removing that facade, we were actually able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because it was the dark tiles that were absorbing the light and also shadowing the windows. So you can see here we were needing to use lights during the day to work on the inside of the property. So by removing that facade and cleaning up the windows and painting the rooms internally in a light colour, we were able to totally transform the look of the interior, so the light just streamed in. By the way, if you're interested, the wall colour is half-strength Dulux ghosting, and the woodwork is Dulux natural white. We also had the plantation shutters painted in the same colour as the architraves and the skirtings. They're also natural white. Okay, so the third buyer objection that we were able to turn into a opportunity was the pokey 60s floor plan. So everything was narrow and didn't flow that well, particularly upstairs. Now, we did a lot of work on the stairwell by cladding it in gyprock and painting it light colour again and changing the balustrade to glass. But we also worked on this upstairs floor plan. This hallway was only 900 millimetres wide, so we knocked out the middle bedroom, which was a very small 6 bedroom, to create a breakout area. We were able to sacrifice that because 6 was more than we needed for our market, and a casual living area. And as you can see in this second photo, it was a really great transformation, really opened up the area and looked fantastic. So the fourth buyer objection we had to deal with was the actual main living area was very small and unusable because it was encroached on with these bulky brick columns, or yeah, that's the word. And so as a result, this was a very long room. It was about 10 metres long, but it was only 2.5 metres wide. And so we were able to improve that by re-engineering the structure of the house so we could remove those columns and open the room right up. So we ended up with a very long room, but it was a decent width now. So what we did was we added a division halfway. So we had, we made it into 2 rooms, but we put glass sliding doors between so that it had the flexibility. So you could, if you had a function, you could open it up and use it as 1 room, or otherwise you could use it as 2 rooms. This is the casual room, the casual living room. And then in a minute, I'll show you the more formal lounge room, which was the front half of the room. You'll notice that we put a different floor covering on the floor so that we really differentiated it from the casual area and made it much more cosy and livable, I guess. Once again, we've got the plantation shutters for that lovely contemporary look. That also helped with the windows because the windows weren't ideal on the property, but we wanted to keep them. So we had the window frames spray painted and we added the plantation shutters to give them that lovely contemporary look and take your eye off the window itself. Okay, so the 5th bar objection we had was there was no useful backyard, basically. It was so overgrown, all you could see was pool, dirty green pool at that. And so I actually had people commenting on what a small yard it was, when in actual fact it wasn't. And the main issue was that big camellia hedge along the pool fence. So we cut that down. It was all completely overgrown. We cut that down and opened the area right up, tidied up all the perimeter camellia hedges, had them all tidied up. And we also, we painted most of the pool fence black, but part of it was corroded. So the part that you could see here was actually new. We actually had to replace some of it. We put a glass pool fence along the front or the back of the house, so you had good visibility. And the one area of yard that wasn't pool was actually paved and weedy and horrible. So we actually laid some turf to make it much more family friendly. And also you can see the little kitchen garden in the foreground that we added.
Okay, so the last bar objection we had to deal with was the fact there was no heating or cooling. And for the price range we were pitching for, it was absolutely essential. So we had to find a way of getting it in there. And unfortunately, the suspended concrete slab ruled out any ducting. So we eventually ended up with a multi-head split system, or actually 2, where each room had its own console and remote control, so it could control the temperature individually, but that they led back to a central unit. That's about all I've got for you today. I hope this video has given you some insight into the process of analysing potential. Of course, it's the tip of the iceberg and I've got lots more to share with you. So I'll look forward to sharing more with you in subsequent videos. In the meantime, if you've got any queries, just send me an email to Bernadette@schoolofrenovating.com. Thanks and bye.